tense right now. Is that future tense? What tense is that? How do I make that future tense list? For example, if I'm gonna make you do homework over the weekend, how would I say that? So for example, you could say next the coach will make each of us, or is going to make each of us. Because just a clue is that every time there's a future tense verb, that's almost always going to have will in front of it. So then, is this verb in future tense? Is this verb in future tense? What tense is that one in? So let's go back. So we had an example over here that we said was future tense, but it needed to be past tense. What did they add here? They added well, and then they added the future tense of have, or even the present tense of have. So to make that difference, we change the D to a future, right? So if we want to go to the future tense here, what do we have to add? A what? A will. And then how do you change had to the present or future tense? So will have. What about this one? Next, the coach make each of us do. Is it past, present, or future? Do you see a will in front of it? So it's probably not future tense, right? What can we do to change it and make it future tense? Try the next one. I can't ice cream. Does that mean I'm going to have ice cream? What does that mean? If I said I had ice cream yesterday, the past, present, and future. Okay, so we had to do. Is that past, present, and future? What do you need to add to make it future tense? Because if I say, I have to do my classwork today, that's a right now thing, right? So that would be present.
Or we'll have to.
Yep. Okay, so you found all your verbs. Is this in past, present, or future tense? What are some clue words that you're seeing in this first sentence that tell you? Next Saturday? Is that in the past?
Future.
It's in the future. So then, this verb will be going. It's got a will in front of it, which tells us it's future. What about had? Is that past, present, or future? So this one we have to change, right? How are you going to change it? You need to add what to it? Will what? Does will had sound right? No, will have. So go ahead and write that in. Alright, teammates, let's go ahead and track up front and in 5. In 3, in 2, tracking up front in 1. So we are doing an excellent job. Oh, I'm going to wait because I don't have a line. We're doing a great job of finding out which verb tense it is in, if it's past, present, or future. But we're struggling to figure out what is the right verb for that time. So, can I have a teammate tell us what verb tense should this paragraph be in, and what is a clue that shows you that? Brandon?
It should be in the future because it says next Saturday.
And if it's next, in the next Saturday, it's not happened yet. So we'll be going, pictures, I do want to remind you that every future tense verb, not every, but most of them will start with the word will. So that's one thing that you can do while you read this paragraph to see if it's in the correct tense or not. So we had to do when sprints and the mile run first. Is that something in the past, the present, or the future? If we had to do it. So for example, if we had to do that yesterday. Monica? Past. So how would I change this past tense verb to future tense? Burrow? We will have. Had is one of those irregular verbs that sometimes is a little tricky. So will have, we've got to add that will in there. and we change had to having a VE at the end, and that makes it present, potentially future tense. We'll do one more together. Next, the coach make each of us do 10 different drills while he takes notes. Is make past, present, or future as a verb? I'm looking for him. Joshua? Present tense. So how do we change this to a future tense? It's not happening right now. It's not making us do it now. It's going to happen in the future. You see her?
By putting a will?
Will make, absolutely. Now, you will continue to see this throughout all of this week, and we're going to continue to practice finding and fixing different verb tenses. But for today, we're going to move on into preparing for our next unit. So, we're going to skip over a couple pages in our roadmap. You're going to turn to the page that says Project Overview at the very top. Now, you can either read along with me or you can read along on your own paper. But we are going to be starting a brand new project in our new unit. And so we're going to talk about what that should look like and how that's going to work today. So, project overview. You are going to be in either a small group of 2 or 3 people or in a single group by yourself. And you will choose one person from the list of options, and you'll see that in just a few minutes, that you're actually going to be performing some research on, creating a presentation about. Your research project should focus on how the events that happened in that person's youth or childhood impacted their later beliefs and actions as an adult. Now, there's going to be several different stages for this research project. The first stage will be research, starting on Wednesday and ending on Friday. The next step will be a presentation. You're going to be working on that a little bit while you're completing your research, but your presentation will need to be finished by Monday because you're also going to be presenting it later next week on Wednesday and Thursday. Your final stage is you're going to take all of that research, and your presentation will actually be the starting building block for an analysis essay, which will be due at the end of the month on November 30th. So we're going to take this project in some baby steps, but we still need to make sure we keep our deadlines in mind so that we don't fall behind. Now, the research presentation outline. Within a group of, again, 1, 2, or 3 people, you will research your topic and develop an analysis explaining how the past of your chosen person impacted their future beliefs and actions. You will then give a presentation with your group showing that research. Now, your research, here are your parameters. You should include all of the given resources that I give you. I will be giving you at least 2 per topic that you choose. You are free to research beyond that, but you should still include those 2 pieces of paper. Go ahead and start. All eyes up and all voices up. In 5, in 4, 3, 2, and 1. Thank you, Jada, for putting up that 0 to remind us. Thank you, Monica. couple pairs of eyes. Pause your work. You need to go over together. All right, teammates. So looking at our do now, we are reviewing complete subjects and complete predicates. A complete subject is the main noun of the sentence and everything you know about that noun. So for our example, Jesse played Fortnite all weekend. Jesse is who or what the sentence is about, and because that's all we know about it, that's the complete subject. Complete predicates, a predicate will always start with a verb, and it is the verbs and anything else you know about them. So our verb here is played. What Jesse played and when he played it is extra information about that verb, so it's all part of your complete predicate. We're going to practice numbers 1, 2, and 3 together. So my friends and I laughed when we fell down at Skate City. Who or what is this sentence about? What is our subject here? Jesus?
His friends and himself.
Absolutely. So we're going to mark those by putting an N above them. What are they doing? What do they have? Or what are they? What is our main verb here, Messiah?
They have a laugh.
They laugh. So we're going to put a V above laugh. Where should our dividing line go between our complete subject and our complete predicate? Rohar?
Between I and laugh.
Absolutely. So remember, teammates, it's always going to go between your main nouns and the verb. The verb will always mark the start of a predicate. Number 2, it was a hot and sunny weekend. Who or what is this sentence about? Okay?
The setting was about the day.
It was about the day, but we need to find our specific noun or pronoun here. Tamia?
Hot and sunny.
Joshua? Was our subject? Is that a person, place, thing, or idea? Why? This one's tricky to me. Think back to our linking verbs. Monica? Jesus.
It's it.
It is it. Now, this one is tricky because it is actually a pronoun, which is a one of those words. Can I have a teammate read off what is a pronoun? Thank you, Jada.
Alright. A pronoun takes the place of a noun in a sentence.
We're going to focus a lot more on pronouns next week, but they can replace a noun, and sometimes they will be the subject of the sentence as well. So what was it, what did it have, or what was it doing? What's our verb here? Brandon? Can I hot something?
Yeah.
What's our verb, Micaiah?
Our verb is was.
Our verb is was. Was is a linking verb. You connect the ideas of the sentence together using this one verb. And so because it is our subject, was is our verb, our dividing line will go right here. And so the rest of the information that it was hot, sunny, and it was on the weekend is all extra information about the verb. Number 3, the yellow bananas were hanging on the tree in the sunshine. Who or what is this sentence about? Laura.
The bananas.
The bananas. And what were they doing? What were they or what
Hanging.
are they? Looking for hands. Chris?
They were hanging.
We're hanging. This is a helping verb because you have 2 life events that occurred. This might be a place where you can jot down some of those big ideas so that you know to come back to this resource. Questions about this before we begin? Yes, Jacob?
For the topics, we just put the person's name.
You'll have to read it because it might be about that person, about their childhood, or about their career, or something that happened to them. So you'll have to read the article and do this while you read the article. Yes, Fernando?
Is this like a, to show them how to do it?
That is an example, yes. I'm show you how to do it. Now, yes, Kevin?
So we're just gisting about
The resource that you were assigned to do within your group whenever you did your work plan. Then yes, we're going to start with resource 1. We'll do that first. Yes, ma'am.
Are we gonna be able to highlight the stuff that's like important information?
Right now, you'll take note of where it is. Later on, you can copy it and paste it online to your online notes. Okay? All right, so at this time, turn and tell a teammate, where do you take notes while you are reading your given resource?
Where do you take notes?
Bring it back in 5, back in 4, back in 3, in 2, back in 1. Almost there. Where are we going to be taking notes today during our work? Are we taking them on the computer? Where are we taking them?
Paper.
Paper notes. Now, we are going to do this part silently on our own because we are each reading a different resource. And what I need from each group right now is the person that you assigned to share your Google stuff. I need you to come up. You're going to sit in the floor with me. So if you were the teammate that was assigned to do your Google stuff, you're going to come up to me in 10, 9, Google teammates coming up in 8, 7. The Google teammates are coming up in 6, in 5. All other teammates. Thank you very much. I see Brian's with me. His eyes are on me. His voice is on me. Cashmere. Thank you, Sadat. Now, I am going to help your teammates figure out how to share your project together. Your job right now, as you decided in your research project, is to go ahead, start reading the given resource that you got assigned, and taking notes on it. Our voices are off during this time. The only person that's going to be talking right now is me to the teammates that are sharing their Google stuff together. You should be reading. Now, teammates up here, check me. Today you are going to create and share the PowerPoint that your entire group is going to be using. So, you're going to click the classwork tab. You will then go, you're going to share 2 things with your teammates today. The first thing will be research notes so that you guys can share the same notes and you don't have separate notes that you guys can't see on each page. So you're going to create a shared notes file and also a shared presentation file. The way you share a document on Google Classroom is you'll click open your document, and in the top right side it's going to say share. You will click this button. Yeah. So then you're going to wait for this to load, really slowly. And then you're going to type in your teammate's lunch number, email address from school. I've written what this looks like here. So you're going to get a Post-it for me in just a moment. You're going to get your teammates to write down their lunch number. You're going to go back to your computer, write down their lunch number, ID at climb.kipcolorado.org. If you're not careful, if you misspell one of these words, or if you misplace one of the periods, it won't send. So you need to double check. You can look up on the board, you can come up and you can't see it, but you're going to share those 2 things, your presentation and your research notes, using their lunch numbers. Questions about this? Yes, Fernando? It's a period, that's a dot. Yeah. And in 1, Hugo, go ahead and give 2 row points out to row 1, who got there first. All their computers are at a 45, and their eyes are on me, waiting for each of the other rows to get there. Please go ahead and give 1 point to row 4. Thank you, teammates, for showing that silent reminder. Go ahead and give 1 row point to row 2. 1 row point to row 3. Thank you. All right, so very quickly, remember, teammates, that your grammar assessment is coming up. That will actually be next Wednesday, November 14th, after parent-teacher conference is on the 13th. Your notebooks will also be due that day, and you will not have homework for most of that week because you're taking that assessment from me, and then we're going to be working on our essay stuff. So, one skill that you are going to have to practice, both in your own writing and on your assessment, is being able to match verb tenses, past, present, and future, within sentences and paragraphs. So remember, your first goal whenever you read it is to make sure you know what tense it is in so that you can correct the rest of the sentence. So I went, am going, or will go to the store yesterday and bought Oreos. If If you think the correct answer is went, tap once. If you think it is am going, tap twice. And if you think it is will go, tap 3 times. Why would it be went? How do we know that it should be went, and why would it be went? Yes, Sierra?
Because he says like I went to the store, like if he said I am to the store yesterday, it won't make sense because the yesterday is there and
Absolutely. It tells us yesterday, which is in the past. So absolutely, that's a great key word to pick up on. Are there any other key words here that we should be picking up on that can help us out?
No more.
Brandon?
The word bought, because it says it's saying bought it, not buying it.
Absolutely. Paying attention to other verbs in that sentence can teach you which verb you should be using. Bought is a past tense verb, so this verb should also be past tense. Number 2, yesterday after lunch, her fingers were covered, is covering, will be covered with red talking chip powder. You think it is were covered, tap once. You think it is covering, tap twice. And if you think it is will be covered, tap 3 times. Can I have a teammate tell us? Skipsters. If you think it is were covered, can I have a teammate tell us why? How do we know and why? Chris?
We know it's word for word because the word yesterday is the clue.
Absolutely. Thank you very much. And finally, number 3, the weather was colder, is colder, will be colder when December comes. If you think it is was colder, tap once. If you think it is colder, tap twice. If you think it is will be colder, tap 3 times. Why would it be will be colder? How do we know that will be colder would be correct? Brohart.
Because it says when December comes.
And what does that mean in terms of past, present, or future tense?
Future?
Because has it come yet?
No.
No. Currently it's November. It's not yet December, so when it comes, it will be colder. Step 2, you're going to be using here, going over with your teammates today in your groups. We're going to skip that part for now. But part 3, one of the most interesting facts you have learned about your topic is what? I'm looking here from at least 3 teammates. What is the most interesting fact you learned about your topic so far? Darlene?
I learned that his birthday was on November 3rd and his birthday 15th.
Thanks. JM?
That Rosa Parks is a girl.
Read it back. Teammates, we're not commenting, we're just listening. Monica and Messiah?
The thing that I learned is that Michael Jordan is playing in the basketball team in high school and he's still trying to
Messiah?
Alright, his LeBron James' middle name is
Ramon. Micaiah and Chris, last one. Micaiah?
The most interesting fact that I figured out was that as he was fighting for Blackson and Knights, he was in really bad shape, and they said that he was the most angriest black man.
And Chris, last thought?
The most interesting fact that I've learned around my topic is using focus.
Thank you. Now we will be able to learn more interesting facts about your person on Wednesday because that is when we will complete our presentations and actually do them in front of our teammates. For today, can I have 2 teammates read out our aims? Thank you, Daniel B. Thank you, Tamia. Daniel B, can you read out the first one, please?
Louder.
Upstairs, pause, please, Daniel. We know how to respectfully ask teammates to speak up. Remember, we show a 3 in our hands. We don't call out whenever they're trying to speak. Daniel, can you try that one more time, please? A little bit louder. Antecedent. Excellent, thank you very much. And make sure, teammates, that you're looking around the room for teammates that have a 3 in the air. And our next teammate, Tamia, can you read that next one? Alright, so teammates, again, make sure when you were reading out loud, you are looking around for teammates to have a 3 in the air. Because if I can hear you but they can't, you're reading it So, moving forward, today we're going to spend 10 minutes, probably closer to 15, on pronoun introduction, simply because that is another skill that you're going to have to focus on next week in your assessment. So you need to make sure you understand what pronouns are and how you can match them in writing. And then we're going to move on, and the last bit of class will be research collection so that you can finish up your presentations. Homework will be 3 weekly free writes, 3 from last week, 3 from this week, will be 6 total, due next Wednesday on November 14th. Now, today we're going to quickly go over what a pronoun is and what that fancy word antecedent means. So during this video, I want you to pay attention to what is a pronoun and what is an antecedent and how are those two related. During the video, your voices are off, your eyes are on the board, and I'll turn the lights off in just a moment.
And I could say that Rufus found a kangaroo. They found Rufus home, and now that kangaroo belongs to Rufus Xavier Sarsaparilla. I could say that, but I don't have to, because I got pronouns. I can say he found a kangaroo that followed him home, and now it is his. You see, he, him, and they got pronouns replacing the noun. Rufus Xavier Sarsaparilla, a very proper noun, and it is a pronoun replacing the noun. Kangaroo, how common. Now Rufus has a sister named Raffaella Gabriella Sarsaparilla. If she found a kangaroo, I'd say to you, she found a kangaroo that followed her home, and now it is hers. But I can't say that, but she found an oddball that fell in love with her, and they're so happy. And my name's Albert Andrea Samadilla, no relation to the Sarsaparillas. Because of pronouns I can say, I wish she would find a rhinoceros for me, and we'd be happy. You see, a pronoun was made to take the place of a noun, cause saying all those nouns over and over can really wear you down. Now I can tell you Raffaella Gabriella and Rufus Xavier Sarsaparilla and Albert Andreas Amadilla found an aardvark, a kangaroo, and a rhinoceros. And now that aardvark and that kangaroo and that rhinoceros belong respectively to Raffaella Gabriella Sarsaparilla and Rufus Xavier Sarsaparilla and Albert Andreas Amadilla. Because of pronouns I can say in this way, we found them and they found us, and now they are ours, and we're so happy. Thank you, pronoun. You see, a pronoun was made to take the place of a noun, cause saying all those nouns over and over can really wear you down. Sometimes when we kick them all on the bus, people really raise a fuss. They start shouting out loud pronouns to us like, who brought that rhinoceros on his bus? What made that horrible noise? And which one I'm getting off first? Who, what, and which are special pronouns that can ask a question in a sense where you do not know the name of the noun. But I know, I have mine and she has hers. He has his, you have yours. They love us and we love them. But ours is theirs, that's how it is with friends. And pronouns, you are really friends, yeah. Cause saying all those nouns over and over can really wear you down.
A pronoun and what is its purpose inside a sentence. Why would a writer choose to use a pronoun instead of saying someone's name or the name of an object? Turn and tell a teammate. Go. Alright, let's bring back in 5, back in 4, tracking in 3, in 2, and 1. What is a pronoun? J to M, what's a pronoun? There's some resources around the room that can help you if you're a little bit stuck. The examples, can you tell us the definition? Excellent. Why would a writer or an author choose to use a pronoun whenever they're writing or speaking? why would we choose to use a pronoun? Jada, Steve? What do you mean? Like if you're forced to use them on a quiz? That might be one example, absolutely. Are there any other reasons why we might want to use pronouns instead of someone's name? Chris?
I think we should use pronoun instead of someone's name because if we just say their name, it's going to take forever.
Absolutely. Edgar, you want to build on?
Yes, because like in the what's it called? Like the slides that we're making, if we keep on using the person's name over and over and over, it'll be like kind of like boring and confusing at the same time.
Absolutely. So for example, if I'm doing a project or I'm talking about something and I keep saying that person's name over and over and over again, it can be really boring for your readers and it makes your sentences much longer and more confusing. So today we're going to talk about pronouns and antecedents and how they can be helpful in writing and why it's important that they match. So please go ahead and take out a blank piece of paper if you do not have your writer's notebook or your writer's notebook in 30, 29. The writer's notebooks are out in 28, 27, 26, 25, 24,